Call this meeting to order. This is a regular city council meeting held at Osakis City Hall, Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, at 7 o'clock p.m. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd first like to thank everyone for coming tonight. It's always nice to see some guests in the crowd. Council, what's left of us? Did you get a chance to look over the agenda at all? And do you have any additions? I do have one, and I don't know where you want to talk about it. At our last meeting, we did have some people stand up during our 2-minute presentation, and we said we would take everything into account. Do you guys want to talk about that tonight in an open meeting, or would you rather wait for another time? Since we only have two, thoughts?
Did you have stuff you wanted to comment on, or?
Well, you understand, Kit, Mr. Yule stood up,
Yep.
and then Mr. Nathy stood up that time, and they had some concerns, and we said we'd take them under scrutiny and we would discuss them. Is that something you want to discuss? We haven't met since then, so is that something you want to discuss at an open meeting, or do you want to discuss it in a closed?
Well, I don't think.
Well, we can't discuss it in a closed. You want to discuss it some other time?
We could have a little discussion tonight if you want to.
Okay.
Put
Okay.
it.
You want to put it at the end?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
And I do want to mention a couple things on your table, the minutes from 10/17, there was a page missed in copying, so just want to make sure you have the full copy of that. And then there was 2 liquor store bids for the tanks, and we can discuss that under liquor store. And then I did add the one union proposal there, just an opener, so you have that to add to the agenda.
Oh. You want to talk about it at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda with those changes.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Council, you also have in front of you the consent agenda and reports. If you get a chance to look through that, do you have any questions or concerns about that?
Shannon Grafton?
She is not.
I would just like the option to pull, item 73. Maybe we can just pull it till the end if she decides to come. She did want to talk about a few things, so if we could just pull that out of the consent agenda to give her a chance to talk. Otherwise, I don't have anything else for the consent agenda.
Okay? Tim, you have anything?
Nothing.
Okay? Would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I will move on that and pay the bills of $388, $899.
Second.
Okay? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have our in-person staff reports. Liquor store, I see Greenie is not here, and do you have anything to report on that? Tim?
I guess nothing, not a whole lot. Changed locks down there, new security codes. We hired Felicia back to help us out while we look for a new manager. Other than that, I think everything's been going pretty decent down there. Other than cleaning, we don't have a cleaning person anymore either. I don't know if we can They have one down there, but it doesn't like,
I've seen it.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind coming back doing it, but I don't know if it's a good idea right now.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I'll talk to Jeff too and see if he can.
I did
What about
notice,
in here?
it's really dirty down there.
Yeah.
I did notice the outside was horrible.
Felicia's first night, she texted me late, and she was just like, this place needs to be cleaned good.
Okay.
And then we had the water main break, and I met down there with Mission Mechanical tonight. Or not the water main break. So Reed's had a water break. That closed us down for, on sale for a night. They left the off sale open till, I don't know what time Felicia left, but she stayed there till whenever people stopped coming in, basically. But with the new sewer tanks going in, Mission has, so it's like 3 buildings. There's like 2 additions that we gotta go through to get the new plumbing to the tanks. It's gonna be more expensive, that part of it's gonna be more expensive than we thought. But now, looking at these bids that were cheaper than what we originally approved down there, I think we'll have room to do it the right way. There's really only one option, to do it the right way. Yeah, they might have to cut a hole in the floor, kinda by to the left of the door that goes into the back to the offices. To put an access in there, that crawl space doesn't have an access anywhere. And they gotta get plumbing through that, and then through the other crawl space of the whole liquor store and outside. And they only got like 4 inches to play with of pitch to make.
Okay.
So, he told me tonight that it's probably gonna be around $10,000 for all that plumbing to be done.
Okay.
And we might have to shut down for a day, which, with the cleaning thing, it might not be a bad idea, then you can just, that'll be your cleaning day, so.
Yep.
And I don't know, are they still planning on doing it? I guess Darren didn't tell me,
Well, it
He's
sounded
planning on
like
doing it
still
this year?
this fall, yeah. He's
Which
still
is fine.
calling me.
they can put the tanks in, if they don't get to the plumbing right away, that's fine. But, cause it'll just go through the other way. But, I know that Mission would like to be there, which, if it's gonna be that expensive, I guess we gotta have bids to do that.
I would think, yeah. A good idea.
Okay, well, we gotta put that. We gotta figure that out too then.
Okay. Just keep working forward with that.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, I don't know, along with the liquor store, here's the note that we have. To whom it may concern, November 3rd, 2024 will be my last day of cleaning Osakis Municipal Liquor Store. Thank you, I think it's Ruth Gonzalez. So was she the gal that was cleaning there?
Yep.
Okay, well, she put in her resignation, so do we, I don't know if do we need to make a motion to accept that?
I would,
Motion to accept that.
Okay.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I just had something else too. Oh, interviews.
yeah. I just wanna mention something about the bids, so when we had originally proposed that we would do the drive-over tanks, I think it was $66,000. And those were the estimates the gentleman that has to design it did, that Ben Klink, and these were the actual bids that we had. So you look at, they had 2 of them, so then it was 44,000 was the bid, so it is, like Tim said, a lot lower than we hadn't estimated it to be. And then if you put in this plumbing, it's still under what we thought we were gonna price it. But then he said interviews, we could set up a time to do interviews.
Did you talk to Brenda all day?
Yeah, she said she's available.
Pretty much whenever.
Yeah, so we can set something up.
When it would
for
work
Monday
best.
morning.
I guess I don't care as long, I don't wanna start them at 10 o'clock in the morning, but
afternoon.
Later in the afternoon, better for me.
If we started at 4, that, I mean,
Okay.
What day? This week? If possible?
I don't know, it might be
if possible. but-
Tuesday this week, would have to be Thursday or Friday, would say you wanna give them a couple day notice, but otherwise next Monday. What's that? 18th?
Yeah, I would
We have
say-
EDA on the 18th.
The next
Oh,
one,
That should be fine.
EDA is the 25th. I can see what days Brenda and Paul can make it, and then pick that,
Sure.
that sound okay?
Yep.
Okay, I'll do that right away in the morning then.
And then, yeah,
So are we gonna go with this bid from Darren Elgin then?
I would say,
Of 44,771.50, then he said plus another 10?
well, that's, realistically, that's about what he said, but we're gonna have to get bids from another plumbing contractor.
Okay. So even 44 and 10, we're at 54, we thought 66?
Right.
So we're still good.
We're still
Okay.
ahead, yeah. Yep.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve or to accept Ilgen's bid.
Second.
okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Were you done with everything else, Tim?
Yeah,
You have
I think-
something else?
No, I think that's good.
That's good. Okay. Fire department, relief. Kyle,
Would you want to come forward, or is
you
your
can stay
comment?
right there.
Okay, so you should have a benefit level report given to you by Travis, our chief. Back at our October meeting, we had a separate PIRA meeting, and this information was presented to the members of the department. You can see on that, we are currently at 5,200 as a benefit, and that puts us at 111% funded. And this brought benefits all the way up to 5,900, and the membership voted to request a bump to 5,600, which would put us at 104% funded. So it is in our meeting minutes from our October meeting that we're requesting that the council approve our benefit bump from 5,200 to 5,600, which still keeps us at a little bit over 100% funded.
Council, is that something you wanna take, into consideration when we have a full council decide on that? Or you tell me, whichever one you wanna do.
You know, we've always done it where they're asked to be between 90 and 110, and it fits into that criteria, so I don't have a problem.
Okay,
I'm fine with you.
okay. Would somebody like to make a motion then?
I will, make that motion to change their, to 5,600.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, council.
Thank you, Kyle.
Mayor.
I have one more thing, Dan.
Yeah.
As long as you're on the list. I told you the other night about, on November 22nd, Alec is having their, Red Kettle kickoff or jingle, or their bell ringers for, we're doing a big kickoff in Alec. At Eldon's, they're requesting a, fire truck and 2 firefighters. I'm just asking the council's permission if that's okay, because another department has been asked and their council denied it. So I just wanna make sure it's okay with you guys before.
I say go do it.
Okay. So I wanna make sure we're all on the same
You're
page.
okay with it, yeah, whoever's okay with it.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
I will formally make that motion that we allow the fire department to go to Alexandria to kick off the, bell ring.
Second.
okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you guys for doing that.
Thanks,
Yes,
guys.
absolutely.
All right, budget, Angela, did you wanna touch on that
I
a little bit?
just briefly, just to let you know that we have the truth and taxation hearing in December, and then we will review the final budget, and a couple of things I think we had was the discussion on the EDA and how much, funds we were possibly gonna put in the budget from the liquor stores, so just wanted to kind of get your minds thinking, because the next month, that's what we'll talk about, but other than that, I really wasn't gonna talk much about it this one.
Okay, great.
And just, if council could keep in mind on that, I'm very firm in believing that when we talk about that, and you guys can think about it, I realize I'm only one vote, but when the budget allows for us to give, I think we need to be doing that 50% like we've talked about, and EDA could use our help with that, so, that's where I stand on it, and you guys could think about it, and it will reflect in the minutes for when we have a full council. So,
Okay. Great. Okay, so Angela, anything else on the budget?
No.
You're good? Okay, ordinance, I see Chad is not here, and being the liaison for the police department, Mr. Yule suggested that he would like his union rep there anytime we have any further discussion, so I have not been able to meet with them. I told them if they want to line up for a union rep to come up, that'd be fine, but, I haven't heard anything, so as far as the ordinances go, I really can't tell you. And Chad's not here, so I think we'll just pass on that. Good idea? Okay. Then we have the water plant and the water tower. We have a bill from Eagle Construction and Neuro Engineering. We need to approve those two bills. Can we do that together, or do you want them separate?
Together's fine.
Okay,
I'll make the motion to approve the bill for Eagle, $180,002.50, and Nero, $17,310.
I'm gonna correct that, that's a mistake, it's $18,002.50. One extra zero.
hey, so we just can't keep making
Oh,
money.
yeah, there's an issue. I said it right though,
It
didn't I?
was, on the top, it was right on the bottom. So $18,002.
Okay, so I'll need a second on that.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The Pike Street project, industrial park, WSB has a bill here. And Angela, you're still working to finalize the grant?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So we will need a motion to pay that.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion carried. Gordon Township, the road maintenance, Angela, do you wanna touch on that a little bit?
Darren and I talked about it, we were gonna propose to them, a 3-year contract for $100 increase a year, and then see if they're okay with doing that, because we haven't had an increase in quite a few years, so, we'll propose it, and then we'll let the council know what their feelings are.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we came to our portion of the meeting where there is an open floor. I'm gonna ask that since the tensions are running high in Osakis right now, let's keep our comments and stuff. If you wanna rip on somebody, this is not gonna be the place to do it. And I'm not saying I'm the king of the world here, but I'm telling you, if you do, I have the right to cut you off. Okay, so let's keep it civil, let's keep it within reason, and let's move on from there. So, the floor is open. Would anyone like to speak? Oh, and please state your name
Address.
and address.
Jacob Weiner, owner J. Weiner Construction, 100 Rec Street. I'd just like to make a request that we could, have the sidewalks cleaned this winter. I know in the past it wasn't as they rescinded on doing that. So, I had a couple of years ago, some gal walking along the street when the sidewalks weren't done, if I wouldn't have been over in the middle of the street, I think when she slipped and fell, I think it ran over. So, and the mixed town was nice, and you know, Alec, when I lived in Alec, they, when I didn't clean my sidewalk, you kinda get a nasty letter, and if you didn't do it, you have to put on your taxes. It's just how it is, so, that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Floor is still open. Would anyone like to speak? Yes, Judy.
Judy Dvorsak, 310 West Pike Street. I was wondering if it's possible to start live streaming the council meetings.
I like that idea.
We can
Well, there's
share.
a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's several people that have asked me, older people,
Right.
that especially in the winter time, they'd like to know what's going on at the council, and it's a small venue,
Right.
so there's something food for thought.
Well, Judy, January 1, you can do whatever you want. You want live stream, you can have live stream. You want
Well, I don't know if
the windows decorated, you can have that too.
I don't know if I want it, but
Okay. All right.
No, I like that idea.
Well, we
Stephanie
talked about
mentioned
that,
a long
and
time ago,
we wanted to do that, and then it kinda got dropped, but, okay? Thanks, Judy. Yep,
I'll do Chuck. Chuck Hensley, Osakis. At our last meeting, I asked a question about mixing money. Money was being here, money was there, and we have no money. Ryan from the bank gave an explanation of the money in different pots, and they couldn't be mixed, which I understand that, because we've got the same issue at the VFW. But what I didn't pursue, and I should have, how much is in each pot, and what are those pots used for? If you could explain that to me. How much money have we got in these pots that he was referring to that you cannot and you can use for? So how much money have we got here?
okay, that's an EDA question, Chuck, that the people at the EDA know those numbers. That's something that we should,
That's not a city issue?
I think that was the pots he was talking about, was the EDA pot.
he's talking the EDA pods, when he was talking those pods.
Well, I'm talking about city pots as well.
So you can stop in,
Have you got
Chubb,
any money at all?
you can stop in my office and I can talk to you about that.
I can't hear that.
So you can stop in my office and I can go through that with you.
Well, that'd be nice. Yeah, and then I get a better idea when you say we have no money, and, the one thing I've heard.
Okay, time out. When we're saying we have no money, the city council never said we don't have any money. The whole thing with the EDA is they are looking for money and ways to make money so that we can buy homes, we can buy housing, we can have people come to town. So I think, Chubb, you're getting the two confused. The EDA is separate from the city council.
I realize that. I'm trying to think, was I at a EDA meeting?
That was at our.
Ryan was not at the last EDA
Yes, you were.
meeting. He was here.
You and Mr. Kroll were here.
That was at our gambling meeting,
that the gambling meeting?
entity
Yeah.
Okay.
requested. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Then I guess I'll wait till the end of the month to ask that same question.
You certainly can.
Okay.
Is that?
I mean, I could, off the top of my head, tell you, Chuck, we have, on EDA, we have about between $550,000 to $600,000 we can use on housing only due to the TIF district that was set up during the Queen Street project.
500,000?
Between 500 and 600, depending upon how our housing grant transfers have been. And that's in a TIF district that was set up during the Queen Street project. And we're utilizing that we can only use it for single family housing development. So, and then what Ryan was referring to is, generally speaking, we had a more flexible use of funds that we used in a loan fund that is now all lent out for the most part to small businesses that is backing the gap financing that we provide them when, for example, they need to put in a new point of sale system or they need to make a business transaction that requires the bank as well as some gap financing from the city. So that number is very low now because of with the number of loans we have out and just the lack of funds that came in to fund that over the last 5 years since they switched out of since the OEDC wound down. And now gambling had switched over to Nelson Community Club over at the municipal. So they really only have a smaller amount of funds that are being used in the industrial park for some of the remaining development that would need to be done out there. And that came from that TIF district that's set up. Mm-hmm. And then there's a little bit of a flexible amount that is being utilized for storefront improvement. Mm-hmm. But there's really not much there in that loan fund for us to provide any businesses that would come in and say, we need to make we'd like to buy this business or start this business, and we need, for example, $200,000 from a bank, $20,000 from gap financing from the city, and then they put their equity in. So the majority that is sitting in that account right now is just for single family housing, and unless we decertify that with the county and the school district and the city, it has to stay in single family housing.
And you say single family housing, what do you mean single?
So that's just like building homes or buying land to develop homes.
Not the number of people in the home?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, just small, I think it's just housing in general. It might not be single family housing. Angela could talk on that, but.
And that's all controlled by the EDA or the city?
That's the EDA controls that element.
Okay.
And that's what Ryan was referring to.
Okay, I'll get with that on the EDA, I'll be here for that.
Okay.
You gotta get an explanation, because I've been in 2 meetings, and these meetings all wrap up.
Yeah.
And I've seen some nice handouts, some nice grants or money go out the door to people that, I shouldn't say that, don't need it.
From the EDA, you're saying?
I can't remember if it came from the city or the EDA.
Well, the EDA has a program that allows, if you qualify, and I know the income qualifications are in a good spot. I mean, a lot of people do qualify to do exterior improvements to their homes and their roofs and windows, and it's been a really successful program in helping people keep their houses up to date on the outside, which also improves their, the look of the neighborhoods and potential property values.
And where does that money come from?
That comes from that fund that we can only use on housing.
Okay.
So that's why we've been doing it, because that's about all we can do, because we've had a hard time finding new land to redevelop or to develop and put infrastructure into.
Well, like I said, I'll get with the EDA, because I really wanna, I've seen money go out the window for individuals that no more need it than a man in the moon, so is there a criteria for need or what?
Yeah, we walked through a checklist that's set up, and I think the general consensus is it's in a good spot for income qualification. It does, a lot of people do qualify, and I think though we would say it's pretty successful and has been gone well, so I bet I got over my 2 minutes. So. I just figured I'd help you.
Thank you. Are you satisfied, John?
I'll get with the EDA.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak?
Tiny Danielson, 609 West 7th. December 6th is the light parade and fireworks. Just reminding the council, if anybody wants to attend Santa and Mrs. Claus at the community center from 3 to 6. And then 6 o'clock parade.
And we're still looking for floats.
There. Yep.
The chamber is.
Chamber meeting is also moved to the 20th, and we're happy to have new people show up and sign up.
You good?
Yep.
Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, last chance. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, open floor is closed. We'll move on with our Osakis beautification team. Amber.
I don't have anything unless you guys have questions for me.
Remind me of the date of the Hootenanny.
Oh, February 22nd at Crooked Willow.
I'm sure everyone will want to get that on their calendar early.
I'm sure.
Thank you. The pots are looking great.
Thank you.
And everybody's now aware that the dock has been moved out to,
We did post about it on Facebook, and I talked to Jason about getting an article.
'cause I got 3 phone calls saying, you guys know that your dock has left the station and it's over today? I'm like, no, it's fine, it's all good. It's good. So,
I'm gonna use that new boat.
yeah, exactly. I just thought I'd bring that up.
My
Do you have
friend
any-
Ed lives on King Street and he said people will go down there daily. He gets a bunch of cars that go down that road and just check it out. So it's being well surveilled. Surveyed.
Surveillance?
Surveilled.
Did you have anything else? Did you guys have anything? Okay, moving on. Community center, Al is not here. Andrew, do you know anything about these?
I do know that, we had approved the bid for redoing it, and then he was gonna start the second week in December, and have them there with the cabinets in the back. And if we're just looking to get rid of them, I have Bob working on getting them removed if nobody takes them, so that they're out of the way for him to work on that. And then I just had in there just as a conversation piece about nutrition center meals, being we're looking at our fee schedule and our pricing, if we wanna make any change to the amount we charge per, rent for that. And it can be food for thought if the council wants to discuss that at the next meeting, but currently it's 55 cents per meal. Last time we increased it was in 2022 by 5 cents, so.
Okay. On these cabinets, are you selling them or are you giving them away?
Just give them away for,
So the first person that calls, cause I
they're
do
in
know.
terrible shape, so yeah.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So,
I think with Al not being here, it would be a good idea to table this since that is his department
Yeah.
about the fee schedule, but I think we should think about it for next meeting and get his thoughts on that.
Okay. Anything else on the community center? Okay, canvas votes with the general election from 11/5 to 24. Do you need to go through anything on that, Angela, or is it all pretty much self-explanatory?
I think it's self-explanatory, it just goes through how many voters we had, and I can highlight some of it for you. There was, 1,131 registered voters as of 7 AM. We had a total registered voters that cast votes of 988, absentee voters of 184. And then you can see the vote getters there for each race, from Todd County, Douglas County, with Dan Russell getting 403, Judy getting 512, Randy Anderson getting 499, Tim 507, and Al Larson 403. So the mayor race is only one position and the council is 2. So it's just canvassing the votes, and we have that run up there. Douglas County was the first county in Minnesota, actually the only county in Minnesota to report their election results on Tuesday night. Everybody else was Wednesday, so that means everything was in order and all the numbers came in correctly. So it was good. And, we did not get drawn for our audit of our, election for Douglas County, but we did get drawn for Todd County, so on Thursday I have to go over and count ballots as an audit that they do of the elections.
I will make a motion to approve the 2024-34 canvassing of the votes for the general election.
Second. Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Planning and zoning, cannabis ordinance.
Al and Steph?
They are not here, so,
I think I did attend the meeting in Douglas County, and they're gonna have another one here in November. I think it would be good if somebody would attend, because there's some question about the number. You have to have one license for every 10,500 people, so if you have 10,501, you need to do 2 licenses. And what they're discovering is if we were to have a license in town and register in town, we have to have 1 license, but if the county does all the registration, they would only have to meet the county level, and that would maybe be 3 in the whole county. And so, it might be good for us to pass an ordinance with just zoning, not registration, but, I have to talk to Steve a little bit about it too. He had attended some meetings, and Douglas County didn't seem like they were in too big a hurry to get it done by the end of the year, because they feel some of this legislation's gonna change too. But we'll have another meeting in November. I would suggest that at least somebody from the council or planning zone attends that meeting, so.
And the context on that was we wanted to make sure we had a zoning framework ready. So if there's a need to approve it, I think there was a discussion about having a public hearing in December and recommending possible approval, so you have at least zoning there for if there is a placed cannabis business that at some level it goes in the right spot in our community that people agree it should be. So we don't have a wide open slate for those businesses to go in. So, not that we're not handling the registration piece on it, but we're definitely handling this is the types of businesses that you'd have to apply to be, and then if you were one of those types, you'd go in certain zoning districts versus others. And Kyle was there as well, so I don't know if that capture that right, Kyle?
Yeah, and we agree that the laws aren't set by the state, but we thought it was beneficial to get something at least on the books by the first of the year, just so we have something. Because as of January 1st, people can apply to open these types of businesses in our town.
Okay. All right, so that's something we'll have to wait.
What is it here, but what is that? November what?
I don't think I put it in here. I'll have to look for it. I'm not remembering something that would be.
I feel like I read it somewhere, but, if you could just send out maybe an email on that, so we can, keep ahead of
I
that.
had the last meeting, but it was kind of short notice. I'll make it one.
Okay, so we do have to approve the,
Motion to approve the planning and zoning minutes.
okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Wastewater project and I ordinance, obviously Darren's not here. Angela, did you and Darren discuss anything that we
I
need to
think
know?
planning and zoning maybe talked a little bit about it, if Justin or Kyle wanted to speak to their thoughts.
Boy, that's the one I'm blanking on the top of my head what we discussed. We looked through the ordinance. I know Kyle had a couple of things he pointed out, but I don't have notes in front of me. I don't have the minutes.
About the fee schedule, I think.
It was a
we
fee,
read in
yeah,
the
there was
notice.
a fee schedule issue that I brought up, and Al and Stephanie said that that wasn't even in the packet that was discussed at the council level. And they said there was something that, between the council meeting and our planning and zoning meeting, there was something added, and they said they were gonna look into it. So,
I think it had to do with inspections, and then the other question we had was, what triggers an inspection for I&I through the building process or zoning process, and who's going to carry that out? Because we obviously would need some guidance on that if that's something that's gonna happen every time there's a building permit or planning and zoning permit pulled.
I think originally they were gonna try to do inspections of everything
Okay,
first off, but then as years go on, you know, they get, what, a 5-year grace. Let's say in 6 years you sell, then it's kind of like somebody in the county that has to have sewer, you just have to make sure you're in compliance if you're gonna sell.
okay.
It would just have to be something, I think the title companies will have to know. When I was talking to other cities, they have to be aware of that this inspection needs to be kind of checked off when they're selling. Is what the understanding was, but we had, our engineer Eric was looking to do some type of bid that would do everybody right away, and then you would see if there's any problem areas, and then they would have to kind of get on the docket to try to fix their issue, if there was any on that.
Okay, so should we wait for a full report from staff?
if I have a copy of the proposed ordinance, it would be on page 10 of this packet. There is this fee schedule, there's a little chart down there, the certificate of compliance, the sewer compliance inspection, owner occupied televised, owner occupied non-televised, blah, blah, blah. And this was the part that Stephanie and Al said that they didn't see originally, and that was added after the fact. And they could not speak on it, so that was a,
Did you
Point
get
of-
these certificate samples too?
no, our packet ended, our planning and zoning packet ended at that page 10, which would have been that little chart with the below are the fees from our current fee schedule. That was the end of our information. We did not get these other pieces of information that are in the council packet this evening.
Okay, so again, we'll wait for Steph and Al to give us a final ruling on that.
I think that was just proposed fees that we
Right.
had pulled out.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, moving on. Park Committee, the grant application. Al's not here, so Enzo, did you go to that meeting?
Yes.
Okay,
So at our meeting, we discussed applying for the DNR outdoor recreation grant, and we have WSP, our engineer, help us apply for that grant, and they were saying it's $2,429 to move forward with that grant, and,
that's just to apply for it?
that's to apply. We apply, we do have the DNR where we've talked to the individual that reviews the grant, so she would let us do a submittal, and then she would look at it, give us feedback so that we can, have a final draft for March, and then we would submit it to them, and hopefully we would be successful. Sourcewell does have grants for consulting, and I would apply to that, for that fee. Cause they have $20,000 this year that we can apply for, so. I would just need council approval to do that, if you wanted to have them move forward with applying for that grant.
Would make that motion to move forward with applying for the grant and seeking additional help in paying for that with the Sourcewell fund.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Lake Association, Bruce,
Do you need me to sit up there?
you can stay right there.
You want to?
So we're in search of a place to do our audits and store, for a place to exchange, keep us safe and exchange the money between the assistant managers and the manager. Either short-term storage for games or long-term. Ideally, it'd be all be in one place. Angela and our group looked at the information center today, their basement. I think Angela she was the first one to say it needs to be cleaned up. But we didn't necessarily think there would be long-term storage space there, which is fine, but at least we'd have a place to keep us safe and do our audits, and some short-term game storage. So if we could rent the basement of the information center, that would be helpful for us. Or keep it as an option, because we're looking at a couple other buildings too where we could do storage and the audits.
So when you went and looked today, was there, like a certain area that seemed like it could fit? Cause I know the chamber has stuff down there, Taste of Osakis has stuff down there. I think the OWA, the Heritage.
Yeah. So there's an area, it's probably about 16 by 16, just to the east of the furnace.
Okay.
That probably would work out.
That, and I think the OEDC has all those pull tabs on the shelf, I think they can always throw away, cause I think it's 3.5 years they have to keep them.
We just threw.
We just went through that.
We just went.
Last year. We took
Is
a
there
whole
still some
trip
down
with
there?
Oh, yeah, there's
Yeah, my understanding is it's 3.5 years and the
2019.
early, or the most current date was 2020 and that.
Yeah.
Oh, so then the rest of them, yeah. There was a dump trailer full the last time.
Yeah, there's at least.
I don't remember that many.
They have to be yours.
We have to have the receipt of their disposal.
Maybe we probably did that 3 years ago.
Yeah, I suppose I was.
That was right after COVID, yeah.
Not that this will save any space, but back when we started Moonshine Madness, John Backus and I made that whiskey barrel that has we used it for raffle tickets and stuff. I know a place that could use that for raffle tickets right now, so if you guys don't mind, I mean, John and I put all the money into it. Unless somebody else wants to use it, I can get that out of there. If you guys don't have a problem with that, I'll get it out of there ASAP.
Talk to Case, run it by Corey, probably.
Okay,
I
I don't think it gets used in.
I don't think that it is down with the chamber stuff. I think it's,
Oh,
you know, when you first get down to the bottom of the stairs, I'm not really sure who has all that.
And it was in that area back of the furnace that I
It wasn't-
mentioned.
It's not by the chamber stuff.
okay. I can get it out of there before the end of the week. And if anybody ever wants to use it, they can just contact me, they can use it. We used to use it for the chamber when we had like the Christmas celebration and all that, we had lots. It's a nice thing, unless John wants it. Okay. I'm just
Motion, he doesn't.
leaving the option open. Okay, so back to Bruce's.
So the request is, could we, rent that space from you, you know, basically a 16 by 16 down there. It is one of the options that we'd be looking at this point.
Do you have, do you have a dollar amount in mind?
I don't.
Okay, something that you want us to maybe,
You can, yeah, hash it over, obviously it's a, community activity.
Right.
So,
for sure,
yeah.
for sure. I'm open to it.
I am too, on a trial base, 6 months to a year, see how it's working for you, I mean, not very many people go down there other than Chamber,
Right.
Women's Association, Taste of Osakis, so, you know, I would say we have you guys do that and we revisit it in 6 months and see how it's going and reevaluate from there.
Yep.
Does that
What-
sound fair?
Yeah, so, like I said, we've got a couple places we're considering yet, so, we're still waiting on another building where we could do our storage and the audits and everything right in one place, so, we'll decide hopefully this month or get a response from the other group, but, do you have a dollar amount in mind for monthly rental?
I think that's something we can talk about.
You know, I
guys
think if
can
you
talk.
wanna make a donation to,
Yeah.
or does that have to be separate?
And that's fine, but there comes the question of liability too.
Well, what do we charge the,
We charge $200 for Jason.
okay. And this is downstairs space that. I'm gonna just throw a number out of $50 a month, do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Do you think
More
that's
than-
fair?
that'd
Do
be
you
more
think
than
that's fair?
Go for it.
As a
Yep.
trial basis, we'll see
Sure.
if it doesn't end up working for you, you're not out much,
Right.
then we can reevaluate.
Okay.
I will make that motion then, as a
Second.
motion.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Surplus sale?
Sell it.
Sell it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I think Darren would like is Darren gonna run this thing?
Well, it's through the online auction, but they'll give all the stuff to them and they'll advertise it, we'll put it in the paper so people know that it's stuff's for sale and they can bid on it.
Bid to buy, looks like that's what they're using.
Bid to buy, yep.
That impounded crotch rocket, is that the thing that's been out there for 10 years and,
I don't know how many years, but
Yeah.
yes.
well, at least
So
that.
through the car and that in the impound, yes.
How good a shape is that car in?
I don't know.
Can we sell it?
Might have probably been in there.
Okay, whatever, I'm just trying to be funny. Okay,
I will make the motion to, go with the online auction for bid to buy.
Second?
okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Elected officials training, Angela?
I just wanna bring up this League of Minnesota City holds their election training every year online and in person, and it's in Alexandria, and do it in person. And I wanted the council to pass a motion that make it mandatory, that all members attend that, because it is good information for all members to understand what government's like, the rules of government, the ins and outs of what you can, can't do. And they give you a lot of resources when you're there, and the Laura's attended too, and they give you a lot of information to learn about it. And it is close because it's in Alexandria, and then they do it online, so I'd like to see that as the newcomers come on, that they would go to this training and learn, from the league.
Did you have a date on that? I think you had. We had a packet earlier, but-
Usually it's in February, March, but I did not look up a date yet.
I think it was February 26th, if I remember correctly, I was looking at that.
Thank you, Judy.
Okay, any more on that?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, to make it mandatory?
To make it mandatory.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Darren's not here, but anyway, there is a yield sign on Oak Street West at the intersection of 8th Avenue West. The property owner is requesting to have a stop sign put in instead of a yield sign. Darren does not have an issue with this.
I don't have an issue with it.
Good? Okay, do you want that in a motion then?
Motion to approve the stop sign on Oak Street West and 8th Avenue.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, council attaches the list of delinquent bills from 2024. The council can approve these to be certified to the county taxes for 2025. If there's anyone who pays before we certify November 25, they will be taken off the list. As we've done in the past. You making that motion, Tim? Okay,
Second.
okay, any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reminder, the December meeting will be held on Tuesday, December 10th. Just kind of food for thought. Okay, good. Okay, employee Jeff Lund is on leave and is using sick ESST comp time, and he will be using vacation time. He is requesting to keep 2 weeks of vacation and go on unpaid leave if he is not cleared to come back to work.
Your request is, do you have anything to add to that? Have we done this in the past?
We've allowed individuals to keep some vacations, they're not out of everything when they come back, and now he's been helping out a little bit just in the office, so it might not be an issue when it gets down to it, but we're just not sure what time he's in it in, so I think
I
it's
don't have a
reasonable.
problem with it.
Yeah.
No.
I will motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Fee schedule? Under old business? Seems to me we've been over this a lot.
This is approved in
It's improved in January.
our
That's why
January
you keep seeing
meeting,
it.
so we just
Okay.
keep eyes on it until then.
Very good. Okay. Policy? Angela, you wanted to speak a little bit on that?
Well, the draft policy, I think the one that I did put in there wasn't updated, I think it was still the same version. I think I might have grabbed the wrong one, but, neither here nor there. Does the council want to set up another time to discuss with the attorney, some more discussion on the policy, or would you rather, wait at this moment? Or what would you like to do with the policy?
Well, just the last time that we met, I feel like it was, Steph had a lot of questions just about particulars in there, and we didn't really dig into the content of it per se. It was just kind of critiquing some of the things that she thought should look different on it. So I mean, I think the majority of the time was spent doing that, so I feel like we should probably meet with them again and go over some
Set up
things.
another time?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't know if it would be at a workshop. I mean, that would make a really long council meeting, because that was a 45-minute Zoom that we had with her about that, so, I mean, I could see that being more of a workshop, just based
Yeah.
on timeliness of it. Or maybe December or January.
Yeah, what would you like? And I can make sure I get the draft number, like I said,
If we do it in January, you might as well give Judy one of these right now.
yeah.
Make for a good weekend reading.
I don't care.
Okay, well, what do you think? December, January?
Do it in January.
January, yep, okay. So, no more discussion on that. Okay, crosswalks, this was one of my things I was gonna deal with if I was elected mayor. That did not happen, so again, I would like to see something done about that, but again, that is not my call anymore. So, new council coming in, new mayor coming in, if you wanna take that over, that would be great. All right, attorney. Angela, do you wanna talk on that a little bit?
So, at the last meeting, I think I gave you a letter that said that our attorney that, we've had is no longer going to be doing cities or taking care of cities, so they had us look out to some other cities, one being, Long Prairie there, Joe Kruger, otherwise Swenson, and Lerwick, and Alexandria, otherwise Flannery and Hood is the other attorney that we've used, for labor law, attorney and our NPCA lawsuit. So I did get the prices from all three of them, as you can see in your packet. The two first ones are a little bit smaller of a proposal, the other one is quite large. And I think moving forward, it would be January that we would be looking to make a change. And if I wanna make a recommendation, I would say Flattery and Hood is who I'd like to stay with, they have a better price. They're members of the Coalition of Greater Minnesota, so they do all the lobbying for us, and we have a relationship with them. And I know Chad had recommended staying with Megan to do their criminal prosecutions, which they charge $160. Ours is, well, labor law is $165. So it'd be relatively the same, and he could still stay with Megan to do that, and then we would use, Flattery and Hood for our attorneys, and they would do labor law and then general matters. Obviously there's general matter questions.
Okay, so something you guys wanna talk about? Do we wanna talk about in December, or you guys talk about in January?
I think we could wait with the full council, either December or January. I think having 5.
Probably a good idea, cause I believe Al had some questions about that.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Okay, we'll do that. Lavens, Lakeview Drive, I am staying as far away from this as I possibly can. I've been crucified enough by the community of Osakis because I live out there, so Laura, it's all yours. Oh, and by the way, I had nothing to do with Lavens, Lakeview Drive. I live out there. As your mayor, I had zero And when I say zero, I mean zero. And you can call me a liar, and if you'd like to talk about it after the election or after January, we'll talk about it. Okay, moving on. Angela, it's yours.
Well, this was just brought up by Paulette Dunn, and there's just been a feasibility study at this point. Is there any updates on that?
He's still working on it.
Okay.
I'm asking him when he has it to come to council and present it.
Okay. Great. Back to you.
All right, wonderful, thank you. Gas bid. We talked about this at the last meeting. We're gonna be using Brothers Market, okay?
For the rest of 24.
Right, yep. Okay,
Letters that get sent out to all the stations, and at the December meeting, we would open those bids and see who's loaded for 25s, gas and diesel. And we did put a separate bulk diesel price on there, so if no one else has bulk and Mark still offers bulk, we could use that part with him, so we'll see what the bids come in at.
No bulk tank at the shop down at the work. So, okay. I wonder, I can ask Darren too, which. I feel like for them guys to go to Brothers would be more chaotic than Morningstar. Like, I don't know, do we ask them if they prefer one or the other?
I don't know how busy it is, but then it's closer over there, depending where they're going, they have they're all around town,
Sure.
but, and it depends what kind of bids they get. I know they've asked about it too, so they're gonna be putting in a bid
Okay.
for it,
I'll just ask them just so I know
okay,
what their thoughts are.
okay. So we're good?
Yep.
Okay. We got this now, so the discussion with Mr. Yule, reading that letter at the last council meeting that he wanted me removed from doing their contracts, doing the negotiations. Angela, do you want to explain what the attorney said on that, or do you want me to?
Either way, but, partly as a city, you're allowed to have your negotiating committee for your union contracts. So whoever you decide to appoint as a city is your call as a city, just like a union steward or a union elects a steward, and that steward is elected by that body. It's not, the city isn't telling them who to elect. So it's, both sides have the right to have who they want as their negotiating committee. Legally.
Okay? All right, so that was the discussion that Cal had. I don't know how you feel about that, council. I know Laura, you and I are on have been appointed to that, so if you wanna keep it that way,
Well, that's how it was
that's
appointed.
how it's appointed.
So, it's fine by me.
Okay?
Tim?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll keep it that way, and we do have one negotiations lined up already with May.
And not
Kinda
only that,
temporary,
we're
maybe.
close to getting the date.
Okay, okay. All right, then the second thing that night is, Joe Nathy stood up and, I don't know how you wanna say this, was just wondering if there was some money being misallocated or being, however you wanna put it, you guys know, and we didn't have any rebuttal to that, we were gonna take that in consideration. Or is that still the thought?
I guess I've given some thought to that. A forensic audit, which I believe was actually what was brought up. I don't know that that is a fiscally responsible thing to do based on that being anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 unless someone wants to come with, some very accurate information as to timeframes, departments. I don't personally feel like we need to, as a council, go on a goose chase of chasing something. I get it, people can come and make whatever comments in open floor they want in their 2 minutes, but we need to have factual information brought before us before we're gonna spend $20,000 to $100,000 on something like that. So in that particular instance, I gave it a lot of thought. I called my daughter who works for a reputable accounting firm, and those were the figures that she gave me. And when we get clean audits every year, I can't see spending that kind of taxpayer money on that unless somebody wants to turn in a paper trail of something of where we would begin to start, because if we don't have anywhere to start, then it's irrelevant. So that would be my thought.
Just to throw in, we do get audited every year,
That's what I was
and we just got a full report back from our auditor not too long ago, and we were crisp, clean, clear, and he commended Angela a million times over for the job that she did, getting in the paperwork that he needed. I came in here one day when there were things spread out all over here, and he went, this is like the 4th year I know of, because I've been here 4 years. 4 years, he said, everything has been perfect, and the city of Osakis was fun to work with. And Angela did a marvelous job of getting him the information that he needed. And is that audit open to the public? Like, if they wanna come in and read through that audit book, they can come anytime they want? So then why would we spend another $120,000 to $100,000 doing a forensic audit? Just my opinion.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and our normal audit usually costs $18,000 to $20,000, just so you are. And they do look at every transaction, we have to give them a report of every transaction that we do throughout the year, and they look for that, so.
So I wanna thank you, Angela, for doing that. That was, I know we thanked you before, but that's a lot of work for you. And your staff. I know they all helped out. Okay, so we're going with what?
If anyone, I mean,
Okay,
people can request anything, but we can't, my point is, we can't just run down a rabbit hole of, I mean, what are you talking, this last year, 5 years? There was not a lot of context in with that, and so unless something comes before us with more content in it, there's nothing we could take action on.
okay.
Is my opinion.
Okay.
That's only my opinion. I'm one person.
Okay, so do we wanna vote on that? Do we wanna make any kind of motion? Do we wanna wait till the rest of the council is here for them to hear it as well?
I don't know if we need a motion, do we?
Oh, we don't. We don't. Okay, we'll just go with what we got there. Okay, Angela, you wanted to talk about union contracts at the end?
Yeah, just so you guys know, we have an opener for a MAPE also, so that would be all union contracts are now open and ready for negotiating. So as long as we can get those dates set up for you to sit down with them and start negotiating. We are behind the 8 ball because it is later in the year, so we should be getting those set up and done before the year end. Otherwise, we do run into back pay issues and insurance issues, and that's not fun to pay either, so.
Okay,
Best to have it done before the end of the year.
okay. Anything else, council? Okay,
Sharon never showed up, so we don't need to talk about it.
no.
Yeah,
Or Shannon.
yeah, maybe she has it taken care of.
Okay,
Just leave it.
okay. Is there anything else? I will need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.